Well, I'm going to share with you that tonight I dedicate everything that I'm about to say to my mom and dad, who I lost in 2016, 16 days apart. And what's left is what my father said more so than not, and that was the most important thing he could give his children were a conscience. Now, I have to be honest with you, my dad talked a lot. If you talk to my staff, they will tell you, I talk a lot. But I'm also the alumni director, so we believe in audience participation. So I want you to raise your left hand, all fingers out, and I'll tell you what this all means at the end. This is my dad talking. The thumb is pointing to you. That's whatever faith you have. In my household, it was Jesus Christ. Secondly, on the next finger, he would say, this is your spouse or your partner. Next would be your best friend, and you're going to only have one best friend. Next, he would say, these are your children, in some cases, maybe your pets. But this last one would be your parents or your grandparents. Make a fist, and who covers them? And when everything else is over, this is what's left. You come here, on this right hand, there are only two fingers that should exist. Those would be your coworkers and your acquaintances. And your job as a man, as a father, as a husband, is to make sure that those two fingers never make it over to your left hand. What do we call that today? Work-life balance. So I share with you tonight as we speak of this, these key 7 relationships I learned from my dad. Only 2 relationships are on the right hand, as I mentioned. Don't ever allow those relationships to get on your left hand. Next is raise your children with luggage, not baggage. What was so important in these conversations with my dad, and they were not comfortable conversations, is he would never answer questions that we asked, which were, tell us more about your life. So you'll read later on tonight, when you have a chance to go through the things that I have shared with you, his most important message he left with us was that if I give you every story of my life, you will soon learn that you're growing up in a different America than I grew up in. And one thing that I have to do is to not limit your dreams, your options, or your risk-taking. He would say to me today if he was here, I prepared you to be in Iowa. It's colder than it was in Mississippi, and it's whiter than it was in Mississippi. I end with, like oil and water, praise and criticism can never mix. My staff would tell you I'm very good at seeing what wasn't done or could have been done better. What was that? But it took a staff member being willing to tell me, let us finish the project first and then tell us what we could have done better. So like oil and water don't mix, criticism and praise doesn't either. We should give our staffs the opportunity to finish their projects, bask in the opportunity and the glow of a job well done, and wait for the briefing session to offer any feedback. So as you go through these tonight, think of my dad, the many moments that I had to sit in front of him and be forced to listen, but learn that as I've grown up, I have a conscience and I had an incredible, incredible father. Thank you.